Red this morning.
Red.
ESPN.com. Jeff Passan, baseball insider for the worldwide leader, noted this. The latest Red Sox. Could they just stand pat? At this moment, this is this morning 2 hours ago. At this moment, the Red Sox are not inclined to engage in any large-scale deadline moves, period. Why do you people trust this team? Why? How many times can they, I get in trouble if I use the L word, tell you it's raining when it's not, for you to stop asking them what the weather is?
Isn't that the same guy who, like, a week ago said the World Series contender and they're going to make a huge move at the...
Well, there have been those who were speculating that, yes.
No, wasn't Passan the same guy who said it?
At that time, perhaps they were. I think
he regurgitates what he hears.
You can, I suppose you can read into it that standing pat doesn't necessarily mean that you think this team is good enough as it stands now to be a contender. It means that you may have determined since the 10-run streak ended that they are not worth investing.
Well, Sam Kennedy told us that. Remember that? He literally, I think it was Lake Winnipesaukee, and he said, well, if we're not playing good baseball around the trade deadline, then is it worth making a move? You know, and I think that's going to be the thing. They got 7 games before the trade deadline, and if they continue on this kind of like losing streak, maybe that's the excuse that they give us.
I'll finish the full graph that Passan wrote. He adds, Chief Baseball Officer Breslow has said the team wants to add after trading Devers, and while it would surprise no one if they did, Boston is an organization that deeply values operating efficiently, and a market like this is the epitome of inefficient. Holding now would speak to the Red Sox comfort with their current roster and the exceptional price to bolster it.
Yeah, I mean, operating efficiency is for Tampa. It's not for the Boston Red Sox. If you're not you have to add. If you're going for it this year, you have to add a legit arm, and you're going to have to part with prospects and or somebody legit like Jarren Duran. And if you're not doing that, then I mean, maybe the analytics, maybe the bots are telling you that you can, you're a playoff team and anything can happen once you get there. I mean,
Well, as a guy who looks at it as a glass half full, maybe this is the best thing for the Red Sox and the people that want them to do something. Because if they struggle, then it's like you need to add talent. Where if they went on another hot winning streak, maybe they go look at all the talent we have. We don't really have to do much because...
We've been saying this for 3 years, though, Wiggy. It's been the same thing. I believe we said this at the same point last season. We were like, oh, maybe this will be a good thing. Maybe this will force their hand to add. And they did add this offseason. I think that's what we're forgetting is last offseason, we went into this season very excited. Curtis had them winning the World Series. Getting to. Sorry, my apologies. But it just...
Is that like Scheim having the Patriots at 6 wins?
We're finding that audio.
Oh, you are?
Everybody I've talked to, whether it's Jackson, Mitch, everybody remembers him saying 6 wins.
I've literally never said 6 wins.
Everyone remembers.
Not a single time have I ever said 6 wins.
You know why he said 6 wins? Because he didn't give credit to the Patriots for winning the last game of the year. So he's like, well, they'll double their wins from 3, which will be 6.
But anyway, yes, the expectation was high when they added. Yes.
And so that they did that last season. So I just don't think that we should be putting too many exclamation points around this could actually work out in our favor.
But remember, what did they do this year that they didn't do last year, the year before that? They have been beating the drum about they need to add at the deadline.
No, but they haven't. They have not added at the deadline legitimately in a considerable amount of time.
No, but what I'm saying is they never talked about adding at the deadline during the season like they have this year. They have legitimately, whether it's Breslow.
Well, there were Alex Cora and others were asking Rafael Devers, your guy Ralphie, was asking them to add at the deadline, and they didn't.
But they weren't publicly saying. Or we heard Breslow and we heard Sam Kennedy publicly, and Breslow saying we need to add an impact arm. That's what we need.
Can we just
They have never said that in years prior publicly.
focus on what they do and not what they say. When they traded Devers, they traded him the moment a team would assume the full contract. They prioritized the financial burden being relieved over the package being better for the current roster. Do we all agree with that as the series of events? They prioritized getting the money off the books. John Henry was rightfully pissed, and he didn't want to pay Devers a dime to play somewhere else because of how insubordinate he was here.
Yeah.
So they said in that trade, which is why it's what I focused on when Greg was taking his pants off, was that they said that the team wasn't as important as the undoing of the contract. They could have had a better return if they assumed some of the money, more suitors would have been engaged, and they could have improved the roster while also removing the player, but instead they took a lesser package to let the other team assume the full deal. So a team that behaves in that way is telling you the roster is secondary to the financial concerns of the owner. Like, so when they said they would reallocate the resources, they legitimately just had an opportunity to show you that the team was more important than the finances, and they chose not